All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We are talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers in today's video. I'm wearing my Aaron Rodgers jersey for you guys. I got my Jets one in the background here. Aaron Rodgers is officially a Pittsburgh Steeler, and because I am a diehard Green Bay Packers fan, I wanted to give you my thoughts on that move because I loved it, and I think it is the absolute best situation for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think Mason Rudolph can definitely sling it, and I think he is one of the best backup quarterbacks currently in the National Football League. And then with Will Howard, there's numerous ways to go about this whole thing. You could be very optimistic and think Pittsburgh's going to go, 10-7, 11-6 or whatever with Aaron Rodgers. He's going to play and start in every single game. They're going to make the playoffs and we'll see what happens at the end of the season. Or you could be a little bit of a doomer if you don't like this move and you could say, all right, Aaron Rodgers by week 7, week 8, around Thanksgiving, let's say the Pittsburgh Steelers are not a good football team. They're 2-5, they're 3-6, whatever they are. Then you run with Will Howard and you see what he has. So in the last month or so, I would say I've begun to get myself adjusted to the idea that Mason Rudolph will be the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Will Howard will be the backup. And more than likely with Mason being the starter, we'll get to see Will Howard at some point in the season. Will Howard's development is one of the biggest, probably the second biggest winner. The biggest winner is the Pittsburgh Steelers roster because now you have a quarterback that you can trust. And a lot of people don't like that. And we're going to show you some statistics here that break it down. The New York Jets last year were a fascinating team. And I apologize if this video is all over the place. This is just off the dome because, like I said, I'm a Packers fan. Some of you guys have been asking for, some Steelers videos on the Aaron Rodgers signing. So hit that like button, hit that sub if you haven't already. But the New York Jets are a really interesting team, and he was obviously coming off his torn Achilles injury from opening night the year before that in 2023. So last year, the New York Jets were the 31st ranked rush offense in the National Football League, and that sounds surprising. It is very surprising because Breece Hall was healthy for the majority. I mean, I could fact check myself right here. Breece Hall, I'm going to guess, played 15 games at minimum this past season. He played 16 games. He missed one. And I remember that because I drafted him, I think, number 1 overall in fantasy football, to be quite honest with you. And so I'd watch the Jets all the time because I love Aaron Rodgers and I needed Breece Hall to do his thing. And they were usually on prime time early on in the season. And then the whole meme is that they went out there and traded for Devontae Adams. And if you're an NBA fan especially, you realize that mid-season moves like that never move the needle. They almost literally never move the needle. This on the screen here, I apologize for my beautiful Lambeau Field there down below or in the background. Here's some statistics. We're on PFF. Let me make sure this is on the screen. This is Aaron Rodgers last year. All right. So 28 touchdowns, 3,900 passing yards, 11 interceptions. Here's some things I took an eye on. Obviously, right here, number 2. I guess I can't highlight anything. You can see my number or my thing there. Aaron Rodgers was second in attempts. The Jets were not, they were coming from behind a lot last season. Interception, 61st. People love to rag on him. If anything, Aaron Rodgers in our final couple of years for the Green Bay Packers was so hesitant to make deep shots, big time throws, whatever, because a lot of Packers fans speculated because of the touchdown to interception ratio, but it did feel like Aaron Rodgers got more timid in his tenure at the end with the Green Bay Packers, and I did not see that from him last year. But this is an important thing right here. Pressure to sack rate, 22.5%. So what teams would do to the New York Jets a lot last season is they would stack the box and they would say, you can try to run it. All right, guys, before we get back into this video, shout out to our sponsor, Mando. If you've been following this channel for the last couple of months, I love this brand. And they just dropped a new product, the Mando Deodorant Plus Sweat Control Solid Stick, which is double protection than this. They're sending it. It's on the way. Just didn't arrive in time for this video. I'm out of this whole body deodorant, but they've got a starter pack and then this new promo going on. You can control body odor anywhere. They're at Shop Mando. All this stuff's going to be in the link in the description because you're going to get 20% off site-wide and free shipping with the promo code Upton at shopmando.com. And I just wanted to this isn't even for the starter pack, but I do really love it. And I'm playing golf. I live in Florida. It's always hot. I'm playing golf this upcoming weekend. So I'm going to bring both of these two things. Whole body deodorant. It's a cream. So I love throwing this on like my feet. And then kind of same thing here. Deodorant wipes. I love throwing it on my feet because you wear your golf shoes and then you put on sandals and you go out to dinner and stuff. It's just can't happen. That smell can't happen. So shout out to our sponsor, Mando. Once again, controlled body odor anywhere, 20% off site-wide and free shipping with code UPTON. Links in the bio, the links in the comments. Let's get back to the video. You can try to run the football, and then especially before they got Devontae Adams, it would be like, all right, so we're going to double team Garrett Wilson, and we're just going to put everybody else in the box. So you can try and run out of it. You can try and throw out of it. But we're going to gamble that Mike Williams, Alan Lazard, Tyler Conklin aren't going to beat us. So that's what teams would do. And then eventually New York, even though they started 2-1, teams figure it out. They couldn't put points on the board. You remember that horrible loss to the Denver Broncos. And I think that was even like week 4. And, Denver had, I think possibly even the best defense last season. But my point is, coming from a content creator, I used to run it. This is so random. I used to do a daily live NBA show. I did it with my buddy Ciro. This was NBA only. And we did it every day, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m., 9 a.m. or whatever. We did it for a full 2 years. And in the summer in the NBA even, it would get so bland. And, I was also young and in college and stuff. And you think you need to be like crazy to get clicks. And so we would talk about whatever the storylines would be in the NBA, right? The storylines in the National Football League in the last 2 years have been centered around Aaron Rodgers. Most people don't like Aaron Rodgers for whatever the reasons are. You could be a Chicago Bears fan and a Minnesota Vikings fan, or like a Dallas Cowboys fan or whatever, and just hate Aaron Rodgers because he would just win. The Chicago Bears never beat us. I'm from Chicago. I'd go to the Bears game in Soldier Field every single year. I'll wave all the Bears fans goodbye. Neither here nor there. My point is, in the offseason, things get dicey. And not to rag on your man Ryan Clark, but that's a case in point example of these shows, FS1, ESPN, et cetera. There's like 5 different things going on, right? You'll have, First Things First, they used to be Undisputed, The Herd, whatever. I don't know what it is now. And they all have the same scripts, and they have to come up with their opinions on it. And a lot of these guys are not, Pat McAfee, or they're not Stephen A. Smith, or they're not Colin Cowherd, and they have to come up with these absurd takes. And so people don't like Aaron Rodgers either because he was very good. The whole COVID, can you even say that on YouTube? The whole pandemic situation also left a horrible stain in, I would say, majority, because that was like a whole thing. I don't want to get into that because that's super political, but a lot of people hated Aaron Rodgers because he put his teammates at risk and in danger and blah, blah, blah. And then he likes doing drugs. He likes doing ayahuasca, and he's just a little bit different, and he's open about being a little bit different. So you see a guy, you're on ESPN at 7 a.m. Nobody's watching you. Nobody, maybe you're a former athlete or whatever it is. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't show up to OTAs. And so you start making it, people will just make it personal. This guy is, detriment to the team. He's a distraction to the team. Any player, coach, fan, any person who has ever met Aaron Rodgers or played with Aaron Rodgers loves Aaron Rodgers. And that's all you need to know. And so I didn't even speak. This is like an Aaron Rodgers rant, and I apologize. I tweeted about this, and that's why I'm making this video right now. And also, you guys started Minicamp today. Forgot my train of thought. Arthur Smith. So Caleb Johnson and Arthur Smith, like 2 words. If I had to describe to you 2 words for why I think Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers would be good, and this should have gone in the first 30 seconds, it's 2 words. It's Arthur Smith and Caleb Johnson, and those 2 go hand in hand. And obviously Jaylen Warren and all the other studs the Steelers will have in their running back room. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think, especially in the last couple of years, like I said, you have Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, and you're the 31st ranked rushing team in the National Football League. Arthur Smith schematically is very good in the run game, right? Think Derrick Henry when he was the offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans. This offense might be similar to what they ran in Tennessee when Ryan Tannehill was a Pro Bowl quarterback. But my point is, Caleb Johnson, Jalen Warren, et cetera, the run game's going to change a lot because at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers is still by far the best play action quarterback in the National Football League. And I just think this team is better coached. I think they have a much better roster. I think they have a much better offensive line, even though these guys are young. I just think even though the wide receiver position can be a little bit thin, I'm big on Roman Wilson. I'm big on Calvin Austin III, and obviously DK there. And I think Pat Freiermuth's going to have a good season as well. This just seems like a good fit. New York it felt forced. The New York move felt forced. This just seems like it suits everybody. And so I don't really have anything to say other than I think this is going to work just fine. And maybe that's going to be 10-7. Maybe it's going to be 11-6. Maybe it doesn't work out and you can see what Will Howard has in the second half of the season. Either way, this is the best possible scenario, in my opinion, that Pittsburgh could have had, and it happened. So I'm excited, and I think Aaron Rodgers can be a good QB. So thank you for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. Let me know if you want more of these. This was kind of all over the place, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Peace.